Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome back to the Protoss Speedrun. We're playing a Diamond Terran, and I think we'll go for maybe something safer this game. Could go for Dark Templar, I guess. I feel like it's better to maybe show you guys the safe play at the summit mark, so you guys can really hone in on that. Let's go for a slightly later scout. Normally I go gate scout, but I was talking here. Okay, we'll do that. It should be fine. The only thing is you can't really block their base with this type of scout, so that's why people don't usually do it. And then we'll grab our cyber core, and yeah, let's try something a little more safe. Maybe Robo Blink we could do. It's a pretty popular build right now. Cyber, grab our Nexus, and let's see what he's up to. Okay, he's up to something weird. He's got 1 Rax, 1 gas. Could be normal, I suppose. Could definitely be normal, but let's see if he's got his command center. Because if he doesn't have the command center, then we know it's some sort of proxy. Okay, so he has the command center. He's going for a reactor. Now, I think I'm gonna show you how to punish this, because this is not allowed, obviously. So let's go for a stalker. And the problem with his opening is that actually he could go reapers, I suppose, but the problem with his opening is he doesn't have any reapers, and so he's not really going to be able to deny a stalker, and so he's gonna have quite a bit of trouble. He also can't really have like a bunker out here, and so this is just going to be really problematic for him to defend. I think he's trying to stay safe against adepts or something. But yeah, we're just going to make a bunch of stalkers. We'll add another gate here, mostly because they don't have any money for tech. And then we can sneak in the Twilight as well. Another stalker. And I'm just going to keep chrono boosting the stalkers. So yeah, now he's just going to have a really hard time here. It is a little bit hard to macro this situation, or micro this situation, I mean, and macro. But basically, as long as you target the stalkers and just keep cutting back, you can never really catch your stalkers at all. And the key to this type of situation is just to keep making lots of probes. Like, you can overdo it. Like, we can do 3 on 3, and it's going to make your micro task here a lot easier. And then if you ever need to build something, like maybe you want to, I don't know, add some gates here, then you want to just run really far, make your gates, come back, and it's all good. So if he does that, we can just go all the way around. Grab all our gates. We should get a robo as well. And then we can kite from this side. You can also just move on the ground, but it's a little bit less effective. Just remember, make up lots of probes, and whenever you go back, you got to drop a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna go back and drop a Nexus and 2 pylons, maybe something like that. Then come back, and you're good. Keep cutting. Again, he can't ever stop this, so we can just do this forever. Maybe we'll warp in some more stalker now. Maybe get an observer. Grab the gases, pylons. Basically, just spend your money really quickly. Don't worry about where it's placed. Don't really worry about the specifics. Just slap down all your stuff and then go back to micro. Again, we can easily queue up probes here because we're going to have to micro, queue up a ton. It's not as bad as you might think. And then once your stalkers are kind of out of range, you just move command way back to your base, and then you don't watch them. Don't do this. This is like the worst thing you could possibly do. just ignore them because they don't go faster when you watch them. Okay, what do we want to do? Maybe robo attack. Easiest micro is just blink away. You could blink micro and save them, but this is much easier. And so like this type of micro, where you just blink away, waste their stim, a move back, is going to be easier because then you can go back to your base and maybe like add this while it's going on. Hopefully you get what I'm saying out there. I can't like do it and show you at the same time. So now we're grabbing all our stuff. Again, we didn't like tech super quick here. We basically just skipped all that, made a ton of workers. But now we have a really good economy, and that's the most important thing. Alright, let's just chill. Let's make a good army here. So we're going into Colossus. So let's prioritize that. Let's get charge. Let's fill up these gases. And I don't know. Maybe we'll play this in a safer way than I usually do, actually. So let's just kind of sit on 3 base here for quite a while. Last game we took a greedy 3rd base, and I think I want to teach away from that, actually. So let's just chill here for quite a long time, make up a big army, and then the plan will be to just kind of take a 4th and push at the same time when he takes his 4th. So you can see he's actually already getting his 4th, which is insane. We're not going to allow that. We're just going to build a sick army, go push his 4th, and that'll end the game. So we need 12 gates for this. And you might be wondering, do we want to build Stalker? Do we want to build Zealots? And the answer is to not build Stalkers as much as possible. The less Stalkers you can have, the better. So, you know, if your opponent's playing like really drop heavy, you could easily make a ton of Stalkers for drops. But if you see this guy, he's making a ton of tanks. And so he's not really going to have a lot of drop potential. And he's taking like a 4th base here really quick. So this guy's not going to be able to drop us. So we don't have to worry about that. We don't need Stalkers. We can just mass charge at Archon. And then when he goes to take this base, we're going to go push him. So that should be pretty soon. Let's actually get a War Prism here. Keep getting some upgrades. Let's grab our 4th. And now we're ready to push. Kind of at the same time as that. Let's go. Yeah, you can see he's moved that. So he's probably taking it over here. Grab our War Prism. It takes a while to turn into a PF, so we don't need to be here immediately when it goes down. But that's just kind of our timer, because if you let it turn into a PF and then you go attack, you're too late. Okay. So we've got our enough units here. Let's go. We don't want to wait too long. There's no way he can hold this because it's too fast. He only has like 4 tanks. So this gets shut down. And we can just keep going here, honestly. We don't really need to go back. Because if your opponent's too greedy like this, they're cutting something. So let's just keep going. Okay, so he's going into battle cruisers. So now I'm going to switch my composition back to Stalker. Stalker is a really a good counter against PC. And yeah, and then he's going to die. I mean, this is a good case of him being too greedy. He's trying to get all the advantages. And this happens so much in Diamond that I think this type of timed attack that I'm doing is the best way to play. You just, you kind of nullify all their ability to be too greedy. Nobody follows the rules in Diamond at all. And if you try to play a macro game against this and you're like, your opponent made, 3 tanks and then they went like 20 BC, which is completely unsafe, you're going to not have enough units to defend that ever because you invested in a lot of safety units. So you got to be careful of this player, this type of player, which is why I think attacking is really, really good at this this level. So let's go into the game. You could also just scout like insanely well and make the transitions into your late game really quickly, but it's just too difficult, I think, for this MMR. Like, you would have to see him go in BC as soon as he does it, and then stop building any defenses and go into your own like campus, which is a lot to ask, I think. So if you play a timing attack like this and they're playing normal, you're going to trade okay, and it's going to be fine. And then if they're playing greedy, then you're just going to kill them, which is also fine, more than fine. So we kited a lot this game. I understand that this is difficult micro, but at the same time, these are like free units. So I think it's actually pretty good if you want to play like this. As long as you understand, like, you need to go back to your base and make a bunch of stuff really fast. And you also need to overmake probes. So you can easily queue up like 3 or 4 on an Nexus so that you have time to micro. But I mean, this is going to give you such a big advantage. If you want to be a micro style player, you could definitely spend a lot of your time doing something like this, and it's okay. And now, let's see. He's going into his expansion, or kind of transitioning. Normally this would be a super scary push, but since we cleared up all of his Marines earlier, he doesn't really have too much anymore. And we can easily defend this. So here I was talking about, like, I could do this type of blink micro where he like targets his stalker and I just blink that one away, which would be the like best type of micro, but it takes too much time. So unless you're really, really fast, basically as fast as I am, you're not going to be able to do that. So instead you should just blink away like this, waste their stim, and then once their stim is running out, then re-engage, force another stim, or finally fight them. So now I don't have any blink anymore, but he ran out of stim. He's very low on HP from all that. And now we easily win this fight without any micro at all, basically. Just the blink away micro. Okay, next important thing I think was the attack here. So I'm not really pushing in this period because I stopped making units and I started teching. So you don't want to like keep up the pressure too much here. I suppose you could, but it's just, yeah, you're never going to have enough to like blink on the tanks and kill that unless you've been making stalkers the whole time. So once you transition, stop being so aggressive, or don't transition, and then you could be aggressive. And now we're just setting up for a timing attack. And you could scout for all this stuff, but we actually just don't really care because it counters everything. That's not standard. So we're just building up Zealot Archon Colossus. And we're not really trying to reach max. We're just trying to wait for when he takes his 4th. So it's a little bit different than PvZ, I guess. You can see he's building his 4th, but he's pretty secure over here. So we're not going to push this area. He's got everything siege. He's got like a bunker. He's got this base in front of it, so he's got some nice choke points. Could we win? Yeah, totally. We have way more than him. We could easily crush this army. But it's much more accurate to just wait for his 4th base. So that's what we're doing. Just chilling, making lots of units. And then he eventually goes to take this. And we go for the attack. You could leave some zealots over here, by the way, but I just didn't want to do too much extra stuff at this MMR. So instead, we're just focusing on the unit warpins. And we come in here when he plants his 4th. Kill it super quick before it turns into a PF. And yeah, he doesn't have enough units to fight us. One thing I should note here though is if he takes his base and he moves his whole army here and he leaves nothing over to this base, this is actually the easier base to push. So you don't have to go to the 4th planetary. It's just that once he takes the planetary, he's now got to defend from here to here instead of just here. So it's not so much that you want to kill the 4th specifically, it's that he has to cover a larger distance, and so he can't be sieged with all of his units in one location. He has to spread like half to one side, half to the other, or he's got to be putting all of his units in one location, which is really risky, and then you just attack the other location. So it's more about his spread. And I guess the last point here is, like I was saying in the other game, maybe last time or the time before, you don't want to go for a ton of economy and a ton of tech. You want to pick one. and kind of match your opponent. So this guy was getting a 4th and a 5th base, I think, maybe a 6th. And he was going like the craziest tech he could think of. So he was trying to do everything really greedy. And that's why it was so easy for us to kill him here. So if he had maybe stuck on 3 bases, had that nice setup he had earlier, and then went only BC, he could maybe hold this, or he had a much better shot at holding this. Whereas if he's trying to go for a fast 4th base, he could just not get the battlecruiser tech, make a lot of bio instead, and then he could probably hold the 4th base. But because he took both, that was his main mistake. He's just doing too many things at once, trying to get too many advantages, and then he's just gonna die. All right, sweet guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want some coaching outside of these videos, go check out my website, hushangcoaching.com/se2coaching. And that's it for today. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.